So, have you developed a capital preservation strategy for yourself? Have you clearly defined your risk limits for each trade? Have you determined your stop loss based on market logic or just your gut feeling? Do you have the courage to stay out of the uncertainty? If the answer is no, don't worry. You are not alone. Many people are struggling like you. But the starting point is not the tools, but the mindset. Trading, if you want to go far, cannot rely on luck, but must have a foundation. And that foundation is keeping capital. Because only when you have capital, you have the opportunity to correct mistakes, learn, improve and survive. The market does not always operate according to a logic you understand. There are days when gold skyrockets for no reason, then crashes sharply just because of a piece of news that no one expected. There are weeks when prices move sideways, breaking all the support and resistance zones you once believed in. In that chaos, the one who retains capital is not only the one who is good at techniques, but also the one who retains himself. Have you ever opened the chart, seen the price plummeting, and your hand automatically hovered over the order button? Have you ever thought that you should enter the market right away, then a few minutes later you find yourself at the top? That is when you are no longer the one controlling the account. It is your emotions, the market that is leading you. Holding on to capital is actually a way to maintain the remaining sanity in the midst of an emotional storm. I once experienced such a week. That was when gold jumped to 3,500, then retreated to 3,260 in just 2 days. The entire trading community was in a frenzy, signal groups were running wild, orders were being fired off. Everyone believed this was the moment to act. I almost got caught up in it. The chart was beautiful, the signal was clear, everything seemed to be calling me to place an order. But then I remembered what a brother once said. When the market is crazy, don't try to stay awake by holding orders. Stay sane by staying out. I stayed out that whole week. And looking back, I have no regrets. I am grateful that people who enter trades repeatedly cannot keep their capital. And more importantly, they cannot keep themselves. They start to doubt their strategy. They write off the loss on the bison. They double down to recoup it. By the end of the week, they're not just out of money. They lose their confidence and clarity. Have you ever experienced that feeling? If so, you will understand. The biggest chaos is not in the red candle that is hundreds of pips long, but in your head when you no longer know what you are doing. Holding capital is a rational action in an irrational environment. You hold capital when you turn down good but unclear bets. You hold capital when you choose to stop in the middle of a winning streak, because you understand that the market is cyclical and no one wins forever. You keep your capital when you see the market is noisy but you do not try to force a trade to make a loss for the day. I once met a veteran trader. He did not use many indicators. He doesn't like reading the news. But he has one rule. If the chart makes him tilt his head to look, he doesn't trade. Head tilting is the first sign of chaos. Have you ever tilted your head looking at a chart? Trying to find a trend when it is not obvious? Try to analyze a position when your mind is lying. If so, it is time to stand still. In a world where everything is constantly moving, standing still is a difficult decision, but also a powerful one. Holding capital is not the action of the weak, but the wisdom of those who understand the value of the long term. Look back at the times you have lost. How many times did you lose because you did not have a strategy? Or did you lose because you had a strategy but did not have the patience to follow it? How many times did you get beaten by the market or rather, beat yourself? Holding capital is what you tell yourself. I choose calm in the midst of chaos. I choose perseverance in the midst of an impatient crowd. I choose survival over death in false glory. And you know what, it's on the days you don't trade that you learn the most about yourself. Holding on to capital is holding on to another opportunity, another future, another trading session, where you're no longer in a hurry, no longer dragged by emotions, and no longer paying the price for wrong clicks. Holding on to capital is holding on to yourself in the chaos. So are you willing to stand still when everything is flowing? Are you calm enough to observe when everyone is speculating? And most importantly, are you willing to not trade when the market is unclear? That is the real test. Not for beginners, but for those who are in it for the long haul. Trading is not a place to prove your intelligence. It is a place to learn humility. And keeping capital is the first lesson in that humility. If you have ever lost a lot, you will understand, capital is not simply money. It's the time you spend studying. It's the energy you expend after sleepless nights. It's the sacrifice of meeting friends and full sleep to chase the candle that goes up and down every minute. If you still have capital, be grateful for it. Because it means you still have a chance. I know, it's not easy to hold on to anything in a market where everything can change in a matter of seconds. But in that chaos, if you keep your capital, you keep your balance. And if you keep your balance, you keep yourself. You may not be a good trader, but you can be a trader who survives. And sometimes, just being alive is already going further than many people. Thank you for listening, for not ignoring things that seem so basic. Thank you for letting me talk about something that many people take lightly, keep for capital. I hope that after you finish this video, you won't rush to reopen it. You'll take a moment to reflect on yourself. And if you can, ask yourself. When did you last cut your losses? Was it because you were disciplined or because you were afraid? When did you last hold a position because you were confident or because you were stubborn? And when was the last time you protected your capital? Don't answer right away, just leave the question there. At some point, when you are about to click the order button or when you are holding back from a strong candle, the question will come back. And who knows, it may help you keep some of the capital you would have lost. Keeping capital seems like a small thing, but it is what shapes your entire journey. Slow down, really slow down. And remember, sometimes it is not that you are bad, it is just that you are not awake enough to keep what needs to be kept first. Thank you, who is still sitting in front of the screen, quietly following each share, each story, each small but true slice of the trading journey. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to accompany you, even if it is just through a video among countless choices out there that are inviting you with promises of high interest rates, magical laws, or unbeatable systems. I do not bring you anything miraculous. I just tell what I have lived, what I have done wrong, what I have stumbled upon, what I have kept for the last bit of capital, and from there I have kept myself. Thank you for staying until the end of this journey.